Hi everyone! I should have done that video way before, but I was busy with my work in real life. Anyways, if you have seen the Dr. Livesey Walk meme going around on the internet,
Oh shit.
you will definitely know what I'm gonna talk about. Ostrov Krasovich, also known as Russian Treasure Island, or in the English version, Return to the Treasure Island. The novel has been written by Robert Louis Stevenson, and I want to share my headcanon timeline version of the exact same story. Don't get me wrong, Ostrov Krasovich is my favorite treasure island. But compared to the other movies, it's kind of odd. Let me tell you this. Billy Bones, before he died, mentioned John Silver's appearance twice.
Когда увидишь старика на одной ноге, сразу мчи ко мне. И за это будешь получать по 3 пенса серебром. Послушай, Джим, этот слепой Пью страшный человек, но одноногий, который его послал ко мне, еще страшнее.
Where John Silver finally had his first screen time, Jim was like, meh, I don't care. While on the other versions, he was like, oh no, that's the guy with one leg Billy Bones warned me about. And in most of the Jim Hawkins, like in most of the versions, Jim Hawkins is like friends with John Silver. Or some kind of bond have been built up, if I would say that. Really. I also have to add that Mr. Arrow had no screen time in the Ostrov Krasovich. He never had been mentioned either, but obviously Russian Smollett wouldn't need him anyways, so I can live with that. Also, there's another reason. What if my OC, Mrs. Amelia Smollett, will appear? Oh no, that's a bad idea. Writing the entire story and adding your OC is cringe. Shut up. This is my OC and I can do whatever I want. You don't have to you don't have to focus or to like it. So, with that all being said, let's begin. Let's start how the story begins. It was at the morning. Mrs. Hawkins sat alone on the table in the Benbow Inn dining room. His son, Jim Hawkins, joined in. The mother was getting worried about the Benbow Inn being very low at the moment. The only solution was to give the ownership to her son before she leaves her son in a trip, like for a trip, with her family friends, although not without telling him to do his morning exercise. You know what I mean? This was the easiest solution I can come across with Jim's mother never had screen time before. The other solution would be if she was dead already. But I couldn't bring that. The rest didn't really change. On a rainy night, Billy Bones and his cat arrive, stays for the night. Black Dog and Blind Pew were trying to get the map. Blind Pew gives Billy the black spot. Billy dies and Jim Hawkins runs away with the map to the doctor and the squire, planning to get to the treasure island. That's a mouthful. There it's getting interesting. As they got in Bistro, in the spyglass, after Jim Hawkins managed to beat up that big pirate, and the three ones get to know John Silver, Jim noticed that Silver has only one leg. He remembered what Billy Bones said. They sat together, they made that deal. John Silver mentioned he lost his leg in the war, probably to cover up the fact that he was a pirate. While Trelawney and the doctor stepped off the spyglass, Hawkins stood there to help Silver with the dishes. They got to talk. So, I have a question.
What is your question, lad?
Silver asked. A few days ago, I had a man over in the guest house Benbow Inn. He had mentioned a man with one leg.
And?
Do you know a man under the name Billy Bones by any chance? Jim asked. Silver dropped silent. After a while, he started laughing.
Nah, maybe he meant another one-legged man. You could be surprised what the doctor is gonna tell. If you will tell him the story, he might have taken care of some man with one legs. I am surely not the only one, and certainly not the last one,
he said. The two came into a talk, and this is where you get his parrot Little Flint to know. As Jim came out of the spyglass, something strange was happening. A dark-dressed woman, her face covered up with that hat, approaching him. That cook can't be trusted, she tells to Jim. As Jim was looking after Silver one more time, the woman was gone.